Hello, my name is Rorikini, and I'm doing the Malicious software update for my network security final project. Just a note to start off is my video editing skills are not the best, and I'm sure my mic quality isn't all that great, so I'll try to be as clear as possible. I might stutter a little bit, but I'll try to keep it as professional as possible, so without any further introduction, let's get into it. So for my project overview, I am using a Kali Linux VM to gain access to a Windows machine via rootkit for backdoor access. I've used a number of tools to accomplish this. I'll go on to some of them later on. I believe the project to be important because I believe it's important to educate anyone who is a little ignorant to any sort of form of security or keeping their internet browsing safe, or even just their machines in general safe. So I believe it's important to educate people and keep your software updated. Anyway, I'll get into it. So a little bit background. Going back to my progress report from earlier in the semester, I subbed a little bit. I subbed a few things out from what I originally intended to do. I subbed out EtterCap with BetterCap, which was funny enough because of its name. Just better. But also it applied better to the situation. It was a little easier to use for me, even though EtterCap had a GUI for it. Anyways, I also intended to use Metasploit for my payload or agent that I generate in my rootkit, and I've since subbed it out with MSF Venom, which is a newer version of Metasploit that combines Metasploit and another library together into one, but I'll go into that later as well. So step one is my VirtualBox configuration. As you can see, I have my Kali machine here, and on the VirtualBox menu I have the Windows machine here. They're both natted to ensure that they can talk to each other. And so step one, let me go on Kali again just to show you what's going on over there. Let's keep going. Excuse me. So EvilGrade is a pen testing tool that allows the users to stop this real quick. Oh, right there. Here. Sorry about that. So to get on with it, EvilGrade is a pen testing tool that allows users to exploit poor upgrade implementations by creating fake updates or other sort of fake notifications for any sort of software, whatever they might have been. Essentially, this hacker can create their own executables or any sort of file that they want to inject into an unknowing VM or victim. That is usually meant for software updates, so that's why I said it there. Popular software for EvilGrade includes Skype, what I use in my demo later on, which is Notepad++, and which I tried to use, which is CCleaner, but it didn't end up going as well as Notepad+, so I decided to stop with Notepad. Unlike some of the previous tools I intended to use, or even others that I do use later on, EvilGrade doesn't come pre-installed, so I had to git clone it. You can also just run the install command, but I found git cloning worked the best because you made sure everything was there. Here's my EvilGrade terminal. Have it down on the right. So creating the agent, which I do in the middle here, actually with this command, the MSF Venom command, which I create my own reverse TCP shell for Windows via MSF Venom. A little background on MSF Venom is I intended to use Metasploit or Metasploit to create my payload, but ended up going with MSF Venom, which I learned about in a little bit of research because it is a combination of Metasploit and MSF encode, so it's just a bit of a better version than the two of them. And to use this tool, I had to learn some syntax for it, as it can be a little complicated, as you can see on the right here. You can use either the help option, or you can, as I did, I used some of its pages about it on the internet. So here's the tool here's the command, my bad. And I go a little bit into it here. So as you can see, I set the platform to Windows. I set it to a Windows reverse TCP shell set the host IP back to my Kali IP, a port which I selected to use as my listener later on. This is my encoder here. Set the executable, or set the file to an executable, sorry, and name it notepadplus.exe. There's a little bit of example in here. Also, it's important to note that wherever you create this, which I created here, just under root, as that's where it's stored. As you can see when I run ls, it is right there, notepad plus.exe. So to start and configure EvilGrade, which I have in the bottom right, it starts off with this screen. So I'll try to show you real quick. Here's the EvilGrade logo, or little EvilGrade logo, and it shows you all of the modules it comes installed with, such as Notepad Plus and Skype and all that. So to get it started, you just it's pretty easy to get started. You just do configure and whatever software you choose to use, such as I used Notepad Plus, so I just do configure Notepad Plus, and then you run the command to set your agent, which is set agent, and then do the path to your agent, and obviously that would differ depending on where your agent is located. A little bit more on step 4 is, so after you install, or after you insert the agent, you're ready to start the web server aspect of EvilGrade. So I'm just going to start, which you actually saw me stopping earlier. Now it's ready to run. You can see right here, that's the stone. I'll show you status. A couple things printed out here. Right here, see it's already running. DNS server is already running. So the next thing to do is create my DNS poison file, which I created right here with my DNS, and right here is my attacker IP, which it redirects from the update source address back to the IP address of the attacker. So put that out here, and that you use to load into BetterCap, and I'll go into that a little later on. Or right now, BetterCap is the tool I use to actually insert my my agent, and I have BetterCap running up here. BetterCap itself can be used as a sniffer, which you can set with the command. I'll show you the command right here. Here's the command. You set the -t is the target, which is this is the IP of my target. DNS for DNS poisoning, use the configuration file I just showed, and that's about it on that. And a little bit more BetterCap is, as you'll see when I run it, is you can see what it's actually doing. As it showed, it lights up different processes that it can run with a little green check mark showing that that's what it's doing, just to confirm to the I guess the attacker knows what he's doing, or she. And also what I find cool, as you can see right here with EtherCap, is you can use it to sniff, or not BetterCap. You can use it to sniff for any traffic going on with your target. So, and all of those packets are stored in a log file automatically, so you can go back to look at possible login credentials or even any information of the sort, which I thought was pretty interesting. So at the bottom left here, I have my netcat listener, which is listening on. I will be setting to listen on the same port as I set in my agent file, and whatever. It's important to know that whatever shell, or whatever terminal you have running the netcat will be the one that you gain access on. So it's been important to know where that is. So I'm going to start the live demo here. Just a little checklist to make sure my EvilGrade server is up and running, which I showed earlier. I'm going to start my netcat listener here, and then on the top up here, I'm going to start my BetterCap. Take a second. There you go. As I said earlier, you can see it's spoofing, sniffing, and starting the DNS server for EvilGrade. You'll see more traffic going on as I switch my Windows VM over here. There we go. Now on the Windows VM, you'll see you'll get a couple things just for background processes running on Windows. Let's find Notepad plus things. Here it is. So we're gonna run it. and a couple other things over there. You could wait for the software update to prompt. However, to speed things up, just going to update it manually. Yes. As you see, Evil Grade's working down here. And here's showing that it works. An update pack is available. So yes. Haven't accepted it. Accepted our fate over here. So Evil Grade's setting itself up. Alright. That. And now, as you can see, if you saw down here in the bottom left, now we have shell access to the victim. Just prove it. There's my name. That about proves it, am I right? So here's BetterCap catching a few other things up here, and that's how you gain root access with it. Checking the results, as you can see, now we have root or access to the other VM. Yeah, went over all this here, and yes, the attack was a success. Just a little overview. A couple of issues I ran into was definitely one was Kali was lagging quite a bit, so I didn't want to try to just base my whole video off of my live demo, which is also a little short. So I decided to do the PowerPoint just to collect my thoughts and also avert from any possible interruption for Kali. A couple other things I ran into. I did a lot more research than I would have thought I've had to. There's a lot of syntax problems and things that didn't really necessarily come installed, just Evil Grade. So I had to look into a lot of things, which I liked doing. It was nice to learn a lot about these tools and other things. So, yeah, and another problem I actually ran into is a lot of things where Kali was outdated, so I had to run this really long update command that updated a lot of the things from Kali. After that, it definitely sped up also, as well as a lot more things came installed. So a couple things I learned here. I learned how to use, obviously, MSF Venom, Evil Grade, BetterCap, Netcat, and even a little more of Notepad, funny enough. Overall, enjoyed it. I plan on further continuing the project on my own time to possibly attack different software, such as maybe tackling CCleaner again, and maybe finding a way to either prevent or avoid the attack. If you have any suggestions yourself, I'd be very welcome to hearing them, as I did enjoy this quite a bit. So please feel free to let me know any suggestions you might have. And thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you.